Record. Okay, welcome everybody to Team B's Wednesday night call. We are so excited to have our guest speaker on, Alisa Herriman, who is a 50 Club NMD, holistic nutritionist and specializing in cancer, and also a teacher at the Edison Institute, and a mom of 4 that lives way up in Aurelia. And she really does have a powerful story when it comes to how she built this business around her 4 kids, around her full-time business, getting kicked out of her house, living in a hotel, and yeah, it's crazy. Like when I reflect on your story, and I always say when I hear your story, it's like there's no excuses. Anybody can do this in the pile of stuff that we live in. So just want to welcome you, Alisa, to the call tonight, and we just really want to hear from your heart and your story, and maybe once you share your story and some tips that you can give people as we head into the summer of how they can remain focused and building towards their goals.
Of course, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for asking me. I always feel so honored when I get asked to share my story. So I'll keep my story kind of short. I am a nutritionist, and I didn't recommend any products. I wasn't aligned with any. Can you hear me okay, Nicole?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't aligned with any company because as a nutritionist, I knew like it takes us 10 years to build our reputation. And it can take less than 5 minutes in a bad decision to tear it down. So I was really kind of scared of recommending anything specifically. I was introduced to Juice Plus, but because it was a direct sales business, I wasn't necessarily sure that I was totally interested in being aligned with that, but I did like the product. I liked that it was whole food. I liked that it was clean. I liked that it was clinically backed. There was so much I liked, but the direct sales industry, I was uneducated, I think is the easiest way to put it. So a year goes by, I decide I want a tower garden. I do specialize in nutritional therapy for people with cancer. And the fact that I could have chemical-free food year-round for my family just made sense to me. So I was ordering a tower garden, but at the time, my son was really sick. And he had a reaction to his immunization that had hospitalized him. And Jackson had been on antibiotics for 8 months straight. And he had digestive problems, obviously. But he also had developed severe asthma, and he was just a sick baby. And at that time, I had a full-time practice. I had an 8-week waiting list for clients. I taught 5 or 6 different college level courses. I was just so crazy busy, and I had this sick baby. So it was suggested that I try to use the Juice Plus powders with Jackson. And when I went back and re-looked at the research, it was like, okay, this totally makes sense. So that's what we did. We started to use the capsules with him. He was 10 months old, and we would just put them in his food. We'd just mix it in his cereal. And within a week, he was pooping. Within about a week and a half, we noticed improvements in his asthma. And by the end of the month, we went and saw our pediatrician, and his infection was cleared up. His inflammatory markers had healed themselves. And I'm not going to say that Juice Plus is magical. Juice Plus is simply concentrated nutrition that gives the body the environment to heal and repair itself and promote health. And that's what I was able to do for my baby. I was able to get concentrated nutrition into his bloodstream so that he could heal and repair and become healthy again. And I will tell you, I'm so proud. Jackson hasn't been on an antibiotic in almost 4 years. Okay, like that's, he hasn't had a cold or a flu in almost 4 years. So I'm so, so grateful to this company for that. All right, so that's my product story. My business story is because I was ordering so much Juice Plus for my family, the rep account just made sense. I was getting money back. I'm a businesswoman. I looked at it as I could write my product off. I'm writing the tower garden off. So I paid the $50 for the business account. But because I was teaching full-time and consulting full-time and had 4 children, I did not want a business, and I think if it had been sold to me as a business, I never would have signed up even for the $50, even for the discount. And I came in, and I had a couple clients who had cancer that were not well. I wrote a letter to their oncologist, said, hey, I got this product, I think it might help them, it helped my son. We got approval there, and I started to see really good results within my cancer practice. And I kind of came to this conclusion where it was like this light bulb moment. I was like, if this product is going to help people who are sick, what is it going to do for people who aren't sick yet? Right? And I just kind of had this moment, like, as a nutritionist, all I want to do is help people build health. And I have a product that allows me to do that. So I started to recommend it. And honestly, guys, my only goal was to earn $200 a month. That's all I wanted. I wanted to count on $200 every single month for my Juice Plus business. And I couldn't believe how easy that was. But that was my goal. That was my standard. That's pretty much all it was. A couple $100 a month in my pocket. I got to go to the Leadership Advancement Weekend. I hit sales coordinator. There was an opening. I was an up-and-comer and got to go. Back before you absolutely had to be SOC because it was a smaller group. And I heard people like Nicole speak, and I met Melissa. And, I heard these NMDs, and I was like, wow, like these guys have actually taken this company and these products and turned it into a stable business, a stable income. And I don't know if any of you on this call are self-employed or not, but let me just tell you, there's almost no such thing as a stable income in business. There's highs and lows, there's busy seasons, there's slow seasons, there's feasts and famines. And I'm learning from these people in Juice Plus who have created a stable self-employed income. And that was another moment for me, and that's when I decided to work the business. So I was 18 months in the business before I hit National Marketing Director, but really it was 10 months that I worked really, really hard. So it doesn't matter if you've been with the company for 6 years or 10 years or 2 months, when you decide to hit the top, you will hit the top. So I was building the business. I was focused activity. I was still consulting full-time. I was still teaching full-time, and I had my 4 bids. So I was just dedicating a small amount of time every day to my business, and I didn't skip a day, every day to my business. And sometimes it was 30 minutes. Sometimes it was a 20-minute call on my lunch hour, or it was a call on my way, back from teaching at 10 o'clock at night, but I always made sure that I did a little bit of work. And I was getting close. I hit SSC, and I was getting close to Q, and we had an oil spill at our house. We had oil furnace and outdoor oil tank, and we had it inspected. It had been 10 years, and, they suggested we replace it. We asked the oil company to come replace our oil tank. When we weren't home, they came and filled it. And within a couple of days, we had 900 liters of oil come into our home and condemn our home. We had to run out in the middle of the night with the children in their pajamas to never return, and we lost everything we owned. And the insurance company was like, well, that's an environmental problem, so your policy doesn't cover that. The oil company was like, ooh, our bad, sue us. And the Ministry of Environment showed up and said, you're the homeowners, you're responsible to clean this up, and we're going to charge you for $1.5 million. So not only were we homeless and had no possessions and no help, but now, we're on the hook for this, and my ability to teach and consult was completely ripped out from underneath me. I was worried about where we were sleeping and eating that day, and we were eating through the little bit of savings that we had so quickly. And, that month I was in a hotel room. I was still working my business. I knew I had to keep going. My team started to, do a little bit of extra work. I hit qualifying National Marketing Director. The $2,000 bonus for QNMD is actually what we used to put down on our rental home so that we got off the street. Then when we're in our rental home, I got talked into going to conference. I went to conference. I came home. I said, okay, so that's it. I'm going to go National Marketing Director. That, we're just going to have to rebuild our life. Like, shit happens, So I didn't sleep for about 3 weeks, and I continued finishing my business, building my structure, doing my volume, and within 30 days of hitting qualifying national marketing director, I was able to hit national marketing director. And that $3,000 bonus I got for NMD actually was my down payment for my retainer for our lawyer. So again, this business saved our family, in order for us to start to fight the oil company and the insurance in order to get this cleanup done and get off the hook for $1.5 million. And, you know, we were able to walk away from that whole ordeal. You know, we didn't profit. We didn't go into a big lawsuit. I didn't want to live in that space for 5 years, you know, not being able to buy a home. We decided, you know what, we're in charge of our life. And, you know, if we can start fresh, then we'll start fresh. And that's what we did. We used this business. We kept building it. We saved up a down payment for a house. We bought a really, really great house on a provincial park. Our children get to go swimming at the beach every single day. And, you know, that's the power of this business. You have everything that you could ever want in your life in your hands with this business, but it's you who has to work it. And you got to be determined and have the vision and know exactly what you want. And regardless of your outside circumstances, you've got to stay focused and dedicated. Because if you do, you're going to be at the top like Nicole and Melissa, and you're going to have a success story that's going to inspire other people. What was the other question?
So that's great. And, you know, your product and business story is so inspiring because it just smashes every excuse people have. So,
right?
Yeah, it really does. It's amazing. And I loved your post the other day of what a day in the life looks like for you. That was a beautiful post. And
thank you.
know, maybe what you can share, and then we'll open it up for questions, is just
for sure.
What did your daily method of operation look like when you were gunning for these big positions?
You know, I think what changed for me, and I learned a lot at Law, because you guys, I think, you and Monique did the customer care training, and then there was trainings on the marketing plan, is I went home and got focused on income-producing activities, okay? Tidying my office doesn't pay my bills. Making my bed doesn't pay my bills. Calling my girlfriend in my business doesn't pay my bills. You know, I didn't have a lot of time, Nicole. Like when, you know, by the time I hit qualifying national marketing director and national marketing director, you know, I had done all of the work to create that level of a business. It just had to, you know, I obviously had to work hard still, but it was the activity I had done leading up to losing the house. And, you know, what I teach my team is get attached to the activity, don't get attached to the outcome. You know, because there was a lot of times that I thought, you know, oh, so-and-so is going to sign, or these guys are going to become customers, or this girl, I just signed her and she's going to be a rock star, and then, you know, only to be disappointed. And that will stop you dead in your tracks in this business. So you got to figure out what are the activities that grow your business. There's two things that grow your business. There's two things that grow your income: new customers and new representatives. That's it. And if you're not signing new customers and new representatives, your team is not going to be signing new customers and new representatives. You know, customers to me, like I teach my team, customer qualified businesses, build those customer bases. You'll find the reps in there. We're not heavy recruiters. We don't do a lot of recruiting activity. We might do the odd, you know, networking dinner and those sort of events, but we're really about getting people on our products and having a good product experience, because they often become the best reps. They got good stories. So my tips, DMOs, is make sure that the activity that you choose to do, whether it's phone calls, emails, messages, teas, coffees, reading, learning, is focus on things that are going to, at the end of the month, going to give you a bigger customer base and a bigger rep base.
Okay, beautiful. And we're obviously in the heat of the summer, and people can get a little bit comfortable and want to put their feet up for 2 months, and then get back. September shows up, and then they realize that their business actually declined, and they're feeling frustrated.
Of course.
They're, you know, a month away to conference, and they're going, there's no way I'm going to hit it. So can you give some advice about how people can get focused still through July and August, so that when they head into September, which is one of our largest months in all of the calendar year,
absolutely,
what can they be doing throughout the summer? I
find for me, one-on-ones are big. Like I always have a bunch of one-on-ones replaced. And, you know, it's really important to remember about summer because your business activity, like your business growth, your business pays and stuff during the summer are directly determined to the amount of activity that you do. Not that your team does, it's the activity you do. And, you know, when you lose momentum in a business, you have to rebuild it. And there's a natural drop-off rate to any business. It doesn't matter if you're a nutritionist or a trainer or an esthetician or a hairdresser. There's always a natural drop-off. And you can build a business of replacement where you're replacing what's naturally leaving your business, or you can create a business of growth and momentum. And what your business looks like, whether it's replacing or momentum, is going to be entirely based on the amount of activity that you are personally doing. And it is summer. Trust me, I went berry picking with my children today. You know, we went to the beach and had a swim. But I did 4 coaching calls. I'm doing this call, and I'm driving back from an event. So I'm keeping my activity level high, which means my business is going to grow this month. And by keeping my activity level high, guess what my team is doing? Right? Your team will do what you do. And if you want to hit September and hit those big promotions, those FSCs, the QNMDs, the NMDs, all of those promotions so that you're heading into conference a total rock star, it's going to depend entirely on the amount of activity that you do in July and August, because you cannot create momentum in 30 days. You can, but your momentum in September is going to be entirely dependent on the amount of activity that you do in July and August. You've got to make it a priority to get stuff booked. And attend. Even if you don't have guests, show up, take yourself, take pictures.
So true, hey?
Sorry.
And we saw it if we want to repeat what happened last summer, we had Megan Raby go QNMD and NMD last summer and walk the stages.
Right.
And she,
as an NMD.
Exactly. So when we hear that, oh, we can't do it in the summer, again, that's not true. We have people doing it all the time. Yeah. It's just how bad do you want it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and are you doing the activity?
Yeah, exactly. It's being, I think, organized and planning and giving yourself time every week to make sure, like, you know, again, who you're going to call, who you're going to follow up with, what's your next event, what's your next event, right?
Exactly. And that's it. And, you know, as leaders, Nicole, that's what you and I do. That's the only difference between us and somebody who's struggling is we got the events booked and we're organized in our activity.
Yeah.
Kind of. Some of the time. I try.
I'm going to open it up. We have, it's 9:18.
Sure.
We go till 9:30. So would anybody like to ask any questions to Alisa? We've got our 50 Club, your opportunity to ask away. Most of you are on mute, so you have to unmute yourself.
Maybe I scared them. Have I scared anyone? I'm sorry.
Well, there's 26 people on the call, so
Wait, hi.
Oh, we got Sarah.
Hey. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to unmute the phone. Getting pretty frustrated. I had a question to ask you. Just because I'm getting into social media, and I've done I've got that done, and so I'm just wondering, are you finding doing live tweets or even live voice messages to your customers more effective than text messaging? I'm wondering if you're noticing a difference, because
see, I'm the old school pick up the phone, especially for customers. You know, well, I don't know about you guys, but I have never signed a customer. I've never sent anybody my website and said order here, not once.
Yeah.
So I bring in my customers through at least a phone call or sitting in person, and I still, and you know, part of my DMO that Nicole asked was, you know, is there's every day I have 1 or 2 customers, and a lot of times I'm just leaving a voicemail for them on their machine or their cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, I don't know, I haven't got into, I will voice note like people I work with. On Facebook or send a message. I still like to type and read. But I will voice note people like that, but I don't voice note customers.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So go on.
I just heard a rumor that your team and some other teams up north there are spectacular at customer retention. So I wondered if you could just share with us what you do specifically to hire so
For
nice.
the customer retention?
Yeah.
So, it's, again, I think it's just that, I coach to look after your customers like they're your friends. Like orders shouldn't be going out without follow-ups, and you shouldn't be following up to see if someone wants to reorder if you haven't called them in the meantime. So customer support, I think, is I believe in a customer strong business. And I coach customer strong businesses with my team. And, it's follow up, make sure they got their product, walk them through how to use it. Give them a call a week later and be like, hey, I'm just checking in. They might not call you back, but the fact that you took the time to do that for them, it honestly, it means so much. So customer care needs to be, I teach my team, 50% of your time goes into customers, getting new customers, supporting existing customers, and 50% of your time should be into growing your team. Because honestly, guys, think of me as a nutritionist. If I didn't look after my nutrition clients, I would get 0 referrals, and I'm not going to have a client base to call on to make an income. The same goes for this business. You have to treat your customers like they're the most important part of your business, because they are. That's the only way they become team members or representatives or continue to buy products from you. Is it not easier to keep a customer than find a new one?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for answering.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, she gave a thumbs up. Another question came in. What are some of the ideas that your team is doing for the month of July and August when it comes to events?
Honestly, a lot of one-on-ones. That really seems to be, we have some big, we have the Power of 5 tour. I know Jenny's hosted a couple of networking events, but we're really just funneling into those few, and 80 to 90% of the events I'm doing right now are one-on-one. And because it's easier to meet someone for tea or whatever in July than it is to host a big event. No one shows up in the summer. We all face the same challenge.
Right.
Nicole, can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's Mary from Thunder Bay. I was just wondering if you've ever done trade shows, and what you do, or what do you give to get people to fill out the ballot?
So I'm losing you, and it might be my signal. So just hang on. So you're asking if I do trade shows
And how do you get the people to be able to fill out a draw slip? What kind of
draws and stuff? You know what? Trades, I definitely, can you guys hear me okay? I'm definitely feeling
good.
like I'm at a sort of here. Okay.
You're good.
So trade shows are great. They're a great way to meet people. It's, I think some of us, I used to book trade shows thinking I'd get all kinds of sales. There are a lot of work afterwards. When I get new contacts, I actually become social media friends, and I find that just exposing them to my lifestyle, like, hey, thanks for being friends. It was really nice to meet you at the trade show. And I'm not a pushy salesperson. So when I meet them at a trade show and stuff, you can do draws, you can give away shakes. Your goal is to make new friends. I would rather leave a trade show knowing that I got 5 solid contacts than 20 or 40 names. Because I don't know if any of you guys have, I'm sure, Nicole, you have, where you do the trade show, you go home with a list of 100 names and nobody calls you back.
Yeah.
And that happens to all of us. So what I try to do and I don't do trade shows very often anymore, just because time-wise I just don't have the time that's something that I don't do a lot of. I try to find you know, a few people that I can build a really solid relationship with so that I can continue building that relationship with them. I'm like, yeah, they're cool, they're funky, they're health conscious, they're already living the healthy lifestyle. I try to add them on social media, let them follow me, I follow them, and then I just build a relationship from there. And then hopefully there's an event that comes up that I can invite them to, or I book tea or coffee with them.
Awesome. I love that. I love it.
Right? Because it's just easier. I don't know. We're in a relationship business, and if you're mass emailing people, there's no relationship in that.
Right. Yeah. I want to, Sarah, Morin, can you talk about the events that you guys are doing up in Ottawa? Because I know that Susan Baker was asking about, like, what events are you doing? And Alisa had mentioned what she was doing, but you guys are hammering out events in Ottawa. Can you maybe share some of them?
Awesome.
Yeah, sure. We're doing stuff like the Bend and Blend. It's going to be a yoga session, and then afterwards we're going to do smoothies for everyone who attends and just share Juice Plus a little bit. So we're looking forward to that. And we have a sports psychologist coming who's also going to speak at the event. So she takes the capsules, and you know, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then we have a lot of Facebook events, like Sarah did one tonight about healthy camping. And we've got a bamboo bar something coming up as well. So it's another fitness activity on the beach. Sarah knows more about that. We're doing wellness events. So we're doing wellness events at every north, south, east, west part of Ottawa. And we're bringing in specialists that may or may not be on Juice Plus, but they're bringing in their own audience as well. So we're locking arms with local communities, getting involved with school boards and the city. So it's
congratulations!
Yeah.
So you're going to be at ND this year?
Yes, December 31st. My goal.
Whatever, November 30th, right? Let's go back. Come on, pressure. And you know, that's good. So I might be, I was supposed to go up on the 22nd and 23rd with my girlfriend. She just has a friend up there, and we just kind of wanted a girls' weekend away. But she's had some personal stuff come up, so I'm not 100% on that, but I'll send Nicole a message, or you. I think I might be in your Ottawa group. I can't remember. I'll let you know for sure once I find out this week. And all I was thinking of doing is coming up and just doing like maybe a couple fun dinners, like nothing super fancy, but just an opportunity for people to get together and network. And you know, if we can get a couple guests out, great.
Perfect. Yeah, that's doable.
Right. My girlfriend's a little bit wild, so I can't work her too hard.
No, that sounds great, for sure.
Awesome. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see you as an NMD.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Anything?
Yeah, any last question? And I think we have to wrap up. It's 9:30.
Awesome. Well, I will sneak off. Thank you guys for having me. I'm just actually pulling on my road right now, so.
Perfect. Thank you, Alisa. And Susan,
not a problem.
Thanks for answering her question about the events. That was from Susan Baker, and she really enjoyed your call.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Awesome.
Bye now. All right, bye.
Bye. Awesome. So I hope everybody enjoyed that call. And I'm trying to think, you guys can come to my house tomorrow night. I have the raw food event. I'm also going to do it live. Nicole Nicole Webb, you're going to be at my house tomorrow? You're going to be recording the live event, okay? Can we edit a live event? You got to keep it clean? I don't know if I can keep it clean. Okay. Melissa, who's our next speaker for next Wednesday?
Sarah B.
Sarah Beermore. Awesome. Yay, we have Sarah. So we have guest speakers lined up right through till the end of July. So we're going to keep on doing this so that we can learn from the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Do you want to say anything else, Melissa?
Nope, just lots of fun speakers coming up. Tune in There's always some great nuggets to learn from these, and you guys got to be on the call in order to get your team on. And it's every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We've been doing it for over 3 months now. And just send your team reminders. I send it out, you know, the morning of, and then I'll try to send another one out starting in 30 minutes or whatever. So do the same with your team until they sort of get into the habit of it. Maybe put an alarm on your phone 15 minutes before, so it jogs your memory. I've done that before when it's a new call coming, so I can remember. So yeah, always great nuggets. So just got to tune in and your team will follow.
Awesome. And we're also doing every Monday night through the summer, 9 o'clock T30 presentation. So you can keep on feeding people into those Monday night calls. Awesome. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great night.